Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today on the channel, we are discussing one thing I like about Dungeon Crusade, Book 1, Genesis of Evil. So there are actually a lot of things I like about this game, but there is one thing that I really do like, and that is the deck of encounter cards. Now, longtime viewers of the Dungeon Dive will know how much I love a good deck of random encounters. As a matter of fact, I think a deck or a table or some way of generating random encounters is the main thing that separates great games from good games. I think almost every game in my top 10 dungeon crawls, and we will be doing one of those videos very soon. But I think every game on my top 10 has some kind of random encounter generator or some way to generate random encounters. And random encounters in a game can go a long way in helping the players establish a connection to the world, to the drama, to the things that are happening on the table. And out of all of the games that I know of, I think Dungeon Crusade has one of the best decks of random encounters. And I'm pretty sure that Roger is also working on an expansion that will include more random encounters. So there are about 80 random encounters in the game, which is a lot. And every time you play the game, I think if I'm remembering correctly, you use a subset of 30 cards. But a few of those 30 cards will be interludes. And I think there are 10 of these that you will mix in to your deck of random encounters. And these just kind of throttle the deck. They allow a chance for the characters to breathe. So these are all interludes in which you do not have a random encounter. But not having a random encounter is also a kind of random encounter. Sometimes the tombs are empty, and sometimes we just have to realize that not every turn is a huge dramatic turn. But each one of these random encounters actually has a different piece of flavor text here. For example, a few of the heroes have discovered a chamber that seems to have been used as some sort of barbaric prison area, judging from the skeletons chained to the walls. So this would just be a kind of narrative random encounter where you just learn a little thing about the dungeon that you are exploring. Or perhaps a trail of flickering torches helps to guide the heroes deeper into the mysterious labyrinth. But in the core deck, and the rest of the cards are separated into three different kinds of random encounters. We have environments, we have some events, and we also have some challenges. And so you will take a subset of these to build your deck when you are going into a dungeon, when you are going on a quest in Dungeon Crusade. And these will all add all kinds of different random encounters. And I like that they are separated out into three subgroups: challenges, environments, and events. And environments, they stay out on the board until a new environment is drawn or until something gets rid of one of the environments. So these impact the entire world. These will change the game. And what I also like about this deck of random encounter cards is that some of them are good and some of them are bad. So it's not, you don't always dread drawing one of these. Sometimes you really like one. It might give you a chance to heal, or you might find a piece of treasure or something. Or you might face off against one of these environmental cards. The heroes hear a low hissing noise that is drawing closer to them. A very cold, chilling air begins to surround them. The hero's movement is reduced by 2 while this environment is in effect. So when this card is in play, it's harder to move because the air is so cold. Maybe your muscles and bones are freezing. Super cool. Here's an environment echoing from far away. A loud horn is heard that is inciting rage and fury within the minions. While this environment is in effect, all minions gain a +4 to their base movement. That would be really deadly if you could combine these two. Ouch. And then here we have another example of an environmental effect. The heroes notice that some of the ground in certain areas has a soft glow to it. All mining zones are enriched. So in Dungeon Crusade, you can mine certain areas for ore, for precious gems. that you can use to add as sockets to your weapons and armor in order to upgrade them. So this environmental card here makes those mining sites more powerful. And see, all mining zones are enriched. Instead of rolling a D3 when mining, roll a D6 while this environment is in effect. Okay, that is super cool. Let's look at one more here. In the deep distance, the heroes hear the sound of war drums pounding very loudly, while the sound of a huge mob running draws closer. All failed physical warfare rolls the heroes make result in double damage. Ouch, that is very, very deadly. So that's an example of some of the environments. Let's take an example now of some of the events that we might stumble across on a random encounter. So randomly select a hero. That's cool. I like when different things affect different heroes. The hero has found an old battered chest covered in cobwebs. All right, so we found a treasure chest. They have 4 attempts modified with their lockpicking attribute to pick the lock of a chest. Take the red, blue, and green D6. So this tells you how you will go about unlocking this treasure chest. If successful, roll 1d10 or 1d20 and 1d10 times 100 for the amount of gold within the chest. If the final attempt is failed, a trap is triggered. Roll d8 for damage. Super cool. This is a little kind of press your luck mini game that a hero has stumbled upon a chest. They have a chance to unlock it to get quite a bit of gold. And as players of Dungeon Crusade know, gold is very valuable in this game because there are a lot of really cool things that you can buy from the blacksmith. Or maybe we have this here. New gear is in stock at the village. Roll 1d6. The result is the number of loot cards to draw and place in the blacksmith's shop. If junk loot or an underworld artifact is drawn, shuffle these back into the loot deck. However, these still count towards the loot drawn, so you have a chance of maybe buying some better gear from the blacksmith. Or maybe here we have to randomly select a hero. That hero hears a high-pitched screeching and fluttering sound drawing closer to him. As he looks up, he sees 4 carrion bats flying towards him. You have to do a strength test of 16, and for each one of the bats, on a pass, the hero slays the bat. On a fail, the hero is bitten, lose 1 health and 1 essence. Very, very cool. And then finally, we have some different challenges here. And the challenges are usually bad. Sometimes the environments are good. Sometimes the events are good. But the challenges will usually challenge the hero. And something bad can happen if you fail the challenge. So for this challenge here, you would have to select a hero for this challenge. This hero has found a ladder that descends into the deeper part of the dungeon. It's a sub-dungeon, a dungeon within a dungeon. As the hero reaches the bottom, there are 3 overgrown chambers. He must explore each chamber. Oh man, this is so cool. This is like exploring a little sub-dungeon, a little dungeon within the dungeon. Chamber 1, you can roll. This has a little D6 table that you can roll on for each chamber, and you might find certain things. I love that. That is so cool. That just adds so much flavor, so much personality and character to this turn, and it's just a little card, and this is just one thing that might happen on one of your turns. I love that so much. And here's another challenge here. Select a hero. That hero has ventured into a chamber and has discovered 4 archaic coffins that are encased in cobwebs and dust. Take 4d6. These represent the coffins. Roll 1d6 at a time and consult the chart below for what the hero finds within each of the coffins. Or here we are to select a hero. And this hero has discovered a chamber where hundreds of skeletons lie dormant across the dungeon floor. Under a massive pile of bones, the heroes notice a few shiny pieces of gear. We have to test our strength 19 to dig through the skeletal bodies and throw them aside. On a pass, we can draw 2 loot cards. On a fail, the hero trips and falls on a green bottle of potion, shattering it. The liquid reanimates many of the skeletons. The hero defeats all of the skeletons, but in course of the battle, the hero takes 1d6 damage. So that's just a little kind of sub-adventure that one of your heroes will have on one of their turns. That is so cool. I love decks like this, and I'm always surprised by how few games, by how few dungeon crawls actually include some kind of encounter deck. It's really weird to me, because I would think that every dungeon crawl would have something like this. Just something to randomize the turn, something to add some monkey wrenches, something to disrupt the player's turns, some kind of random thing that makes one turn different from the other. all too often we get games that don't have anything like this, and the turns just up feeling the same from one turn to the next. So this encounter deck is one thing that I really love about Dungeon Crusade. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.